I hope you enjoyed the video last weekend. I know it was a little different, but yeah, the second part to that's gonna come soon. But today, I get to do what I wanted to do last week. So my parts came in. So let's get this open and I'll tell you what we're up to today. This is very exciting unboxing content, I realize, but here we go. It's a new hood latch cable. I know, I'm as excited as you are. Now, if you'll remember, through the winter months, I couldn't get my hood open, and I couldn't figure out why, but I've finally found the culprit. The existing cable has seized up in there. It's kind of crimped in the middle, so it's not actually pulling the latch so it can open up. So I've just been leaving my hood open, but today we're going to be replacing just the cable. The latch mechanism itself is fine. It's just the cable that needs to be replaced. So it's not that hard of a job, and I'll walk you through it. So the hood latch isn't very difficult to take off. It's just these three bolts here, here, and here. The cable's not too hard either. It's just, it takes a little work to get it in there, right? Because it comes from, you know, right there under your driver's, the dead pedal, comes down the fender, and then along this front brace, comes all the way through here, and actually goes behind your radiator before making a loop, and then attaching right here. So that's my screwdrivers on the cable itself. So just fishing that cable out and back in can be a little tricky, especially if you leave this in place. So my plan is just, I'm going to remove the hood latch itself and then replace the cable and then put it all back together. The tricky thing with the hood latch is you just have to make sure that it goes in exactly the way it came out, because the alignment is really critical. If it's not exactly the way it is here, your hood's not going to close and it's going to be really annoying. So you just need to make note of the witness marks of your bolts, where they are in the bracket itself, and then up here as well, like where it is with the body. So I'm just going to use a marker and do a little mark here, a little mark here, so I can line that up, and then here as well to make sure that I can get the bolts right where they came out of. This has been an annoying problem I've had for a while, and I just haven't taken the time to take care of it. I was considering doing hood pins, but I really don't want to mess with like having to drill a hole through my hood and make sure the alignment's all right, and I don't know. I still might do that eventually, but for now I'm just going to do the OEM replacement and call it good. So we're going to take care of it. Alright, so this right here is your hood latch cable. This is, that's your window washer. It's pretty easy to tell the difference. This one is squishy, this one is not. So this comes up along the frame rail and then enters into the cabin right through here, this rubber grommet. So you just need to take it out here, and then you'll pull this grommet through. The one thing to keep in mind is that these clips right here, you'll want to try to save these, and it's a little hard. You can't get access to the back because it's inside the frame rail, so you just kind of have to slowly and gingerly pull them up from here, but you want to save those if at all possible. Alright, here we go. In the car, like here's your latch, right? You see mine's completely just broken. But there's two 10mm bolts. There's one right here, and there's one down here. You can't really see it. There it is. So you just remove those, and this entire bracket comes off, and then it's free, and you can see up here it goes through the firewall. There you go, that is free now. Pretty simple part, and now you just need to disconnect everything else to pull it through. You're gonna pull it through into the cabin. Okay, so you wanna mark your latch so it goes exactly where it was. So I put Sharpie up here around the bracket, and here too. And then I put a little mark here as well on around the bolt. And you can, like the bolt's gonna leave witness marks anyway, but it's just nice to mark it. And then I've kind of gone a step further too, where I've made a mark here on the chassis, and then here on the bracket. So that's just with a straight edge so I can align it, right? So I'll use this file, and if those things are lined, then I'm good to go. Same on this side. There's a mark on the chassis and there's one on the bracket. So I just want to make extra sure that this goes in how it came out, so it's aligned properly. Otherwise, you have to chase this thing around of lifting it and lowering it and scooting it, and it takes a lot of time. If it goes back in the way it was, then it should work just fine. So routing it up and around the headlight can be a little tricky, but if you look close, there's a path for it to go. It goes between the headlight housing and the frame rail. So it kind of snakes in and around the back of the headlight. Just pay attention to the way it comes out, because it's a lot easier to go the same way. So these clips up here are a lot easier to deal with than the ones up front. The ones up front are a little, you have to be on your back to get them, so it's a little annoying. But stick with it, you'll get it. Alright, so I figured out why this isn't working. Is this cable, if you'll see up here, it's broken. It's supposed to sit right here at the latch, but mine is just kind of free floating. So when I pull my lever, it doesn't have enough leverage to actually pull the cable. It was just, the whole cable was moving. So yeah, that's annoying, but what can you do? So I'm gonna get the new one rerouted back in. So I'll show you how to do that. To make life easier with this grommet, I'm just gonna hit it with some silicone, and that way it'll slide right into the firewall without any problem. Alright, so here comes the moment of truth part, because we got to get the mechanism back into the car in the right orientation. So I've got my cable routed, so getting this into the mechanism is super easy. It's just a ball and cable slots right there. Even makes a satisfying click. So now the trick will be to get this back in the right orientation. So I still have my witness marks and my Sharpie marks to go off. So I'm hoping that's enough. So right now I'm just getting the stuff started, and then we'll position right there on this side, about there on this one. I hope this is right. It is hot today, and I am dying. That looks right to me. So they're lined up to the Sharpie marks. I'll do the straight edge mark in a minute, and once I'm sure that these are all in the right spot, I'm gonna put the last bolt in. Alright, time to prove our work. That is latched. Heyo! It worked. Okay, now let's make sure that the hood is actually going to latch. So let's find out if this thing latches now. Alright, moment of truth. Well, that's good. It's actually sitting flush now. Before, it was kind of canted weird. Alright. So the hood is closed. Now let's see if we can get it to open. Hold your breath. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, mission accomplished. Good. I'm so glad that went well the first time, because I did not want to do it the second time. It is hot out here. Alright, on to the next trivial thing.